came across a very nice post by Professor Arvind Narayanan from Princeton University. He actually challenges the idea that AI will hyper accelerate scientific progress and gives a very compelling argument why the effect of AI might be something very unexpected. So what he says is that there's a whole science literature hand-wringing about the fact that scientific production has increased exponentially, but progress has not accelerated, has even slowed down. He asserts that scientific production actually is not the same as progress, and progress has even slowed down. So why is that? What do we really mean by progress? How is it different from scientific production? In every scientific field I'm familiar with, the amount of published stuff already exceeds the community's collective bandwidth to absorb and build upon the ideas by a factor of 100x or more. So there are two things. One is the amount of published stuff, which is exponentially, it's already exponentially increasing even before AI came into, it was commonplace. And so the amount of published stuff and the collective bandwidth to absorb and build upon ideas. That's the key, and that's what really progress means. Unless the exponential stuff is curated or organized in a form that others can very quickly build on the previous insights, that published stuff actually has zero impact. So the amount of information produced is the delta progress is so distributed unevenly that it's very hard to extract the deep insights, know where the deep insights are, and build upon that. Scientific research is built upon that. Another way to say this is that a publication itself doesn't have any value, and most publications have basically zero impact. So if that is the state, our progress is really dissociated from the amount of publications. How will AI help? And that makes a very nice observation. I do think AI will help, but ironically, it's by stretching an already creaking system to its breaking point and forcing it to reinvent ourselves. So the logic is that the cost of paper production goes to zero because AI can produce papers which are very similar to what humans write at a almost zero cost. Then we will stop attaching value to the publications. And once we stop attaching value to the number of publications, the exponential number of publications will also go down. And what will happen is that we will instead start figuring out what really is of intellectual value. We will find ways to identify actual intellectual value. And that's how we'll help by destroying this current system and taking our attention to where to identify the actual intellectual value. So a significant part of the community, scientific community, already knows and understands these problems of exponential production and lack of progress because we can't absorb on top of it. But they have found very hard to even minimally perturb the system because it's set up in such a nice dynamic equilibrium. So what AI might actually end up doing is to destroy this dynamic equilibrium and take our attention, force us to attend where there's real progress or where the actual intellectual merit lies.